Good morning, everyone. Each day gives us a choice. We can let our thoughts control us, or we can train our minds to focus on what truly matters. Today, I want to share 5 lessons you can practice every morning to shape your mind and your life. Control what you can, and let go of what you cannot. This is one of the most important ideas you can carry into your day. Every morning, the world will present you with countless situations, many of which are completely beyond your power. People will act in ways you do not like, the weather will change, plans will fall apart, and unexpected events will occur. These are not yours to command. To waste energy trying to control them is to invite frustration, anger, and disappointment. Instead, focus on what is within your hands. Your thoughts, your choices, your actions, your effort, these are yours. They are the things that will shape your life in meaningful ways. If you practice mastery over these, no external circumstance can truly disturb you. Imagine waking up and feeling that nothing outside your control can rob you of peace. You are free, not because the world bends to your will, but because your mind is disciplined. The first step is to notice the difference between what you can change and what you cannot. This requires awareness, attention, and honesty with yourself. Many people confuse desire with control. They wish for certain things to happen, and when those things do not happen, they feel anger or despair. They believe they should be able to shape the world, when in truth the world has its own course. By recognizing your limits, you conserve your energy for what actually matters. This does not mean passivity or laziness. Controlling what you can means acting with purpose, doing your duties well, speaking truthfully, working diligently, and treating others rightly. These are things under your power. You can always choose to act with integrity, to show patience, to think clearly, and to work hard. Even if the result is not what you hoped, the effort is entirely yours, and it cannot be taken away. People often focus too much on the outcome and forget the process. They cannot control whether others accept their work, whether events turn in their favor, or whether life unfolds conveniently. They forget that their own effort, character, and choices remain theirs. Letting go of what you cannot control also brings freedom from fear. If you cannot control the opinions of others, then you do not need to fear criticism. If you cannot control the future, then you do not need to worry about what may or may not happen. Fear and anxiety arise from attachment to things outside your control. By releasing that attachment, you lighten your mind and steady your heart. Each morning, take a moment to remind yourself of this truth. Before you speak, act, or react, ask yourself, is this mine to control? If it is, do it well. If it is not, release it without struggle. You will find that life becomes more peaceful, your energy more focused, and your relationships less tense. You will notice a calm strength growing inside you, a sense that no matter what the world throws at you, you have a center that remains firm. It is not arrogance to focus on what you can control, it is wisdom. It is understanding that the true power in life lies not in trying to command others or circumstances, but in mastering yourself. People who chase control over the uncontrollable are often restless, angry, or exhausted. Those who master themselves find clarity, resilience, and peace. By starting each day with this principle, you prepare your mind for whatever comes. You do not waste energy on what is outside your hands, and you give everything you have to what is inside. Each small act of self-control, each deliberate choice to act rightly, compounds into a life of strength and purpose. The habit of separating control from lack of control is like training a muscle. At first, it requires conscious effort. You must constantly remind yourself, correct yourself, and notice your impulses. But over time, it becomes natural. Your mind stops clinging to what is not yours, and your energy flows toward what truly matters. You learn to act without frustration, to face challenges without fear, and to walk through life with calmness and clarity. Each morning, you practice this. Each day, you strengthen it. It is simple yet profoundly powerful. Expect challenges, face them calmly. Life is never a straight path, and no matter how carefully we plan, difficulties will appear. People may betray your trust, situations may turn against you, and the world may seem unfair at times. These moments are inevitable, and the sooner you accept that fact, the stronger your mind will become. To meet challenges with calmness is not to ignore them, or pretend they do not exist. It is to see them clearly, to understand their nature, and to prepare yourself to respond with reason rather than emotion. Every morning, you can remind yourself that obstacles are part of life. This does not make life bleak, instead, it gives you a steady foundation. When difficulties arise, those who expect them are not shaken. They are ready to act, to adjust, and to endure. Expecting challenges is like carrying an umbrella before it rains. It does not prevent the storm, but it prevents you from being drenched. When you meet a challenge calmly, your mind remains clear. Fear and panic cloud judgment, and anger often leads to rash decisions. By anticipating obstacles, you train your mind to stay centered. You acknowledge that hardships are temporary, and you keep your focus on what you can do, not on what has gone wrong. Expectation of difficulty also strengthens patience. Many people grow frustrated at minor setbacks because they imagine life should be smooth and easy. They see problems as interruptions rather than as part of the natural order of things. When you accept that life will test you, each obstacle becomes an opportunity to practice patience, resilience, and careful thought. Calmness in the face of challenges allows you to act wisely. When a problem arises, instead of reacting with anger or fear, you pause, assess the situation, and choose the right response. This does not mean doing nothing, it means acting with purpose and clarity. You save your energy for solutions rather than wasting it on complaints or regrets. Facing challenges calmly also teaches you humility. Life reminds you that you are not always in control, and that events unfold according to their own logic. This humility does not weaken you, it frees you from pride and unrealistic expectations. You learn to accept what happens without being overwhelmed, and you see each situation as a chance to grow stronger. Each morning, you can mentally rehearse challenges, imagine the difficulties that may appear, and picture yourself handling them with steadiness. This is not pessimism, it is preparation. When the actual obstacles arrive, they are less surprising and your mind is ready. Calmness is not a passive state, it is active control over your reactions. You remain composed even when events are harsh, because you have trained your mind to meet adversity with reason rather than emotion. Life will test your patience, your courage, and your character. By expecting challenges, you remove the shock that often accompanies them. You understand that struggle is normal, that hardship is temporary, and that your response is what truly matters. Each day, remind yourself, difficulties are opportunities to practice virtue, to strengthen your mind, and to act with wisdom. The storms of life are not enemies to be feared, but teachers that show you the limits of your attachment, the power of your choices, and the strength of your character. When you meet problems calmly, you do not waste energy resisting reality. You focus on solutions, you maintain peace of mind, and you act with purpose and clarity. Over time, this habit grows into a steady resilience. Life no longer surprises or unsettles you, because you have trained your mind to expect challenges and to face them without disturbance. Each difficulty becomes a test you can handle, a lesson you can learn, and a chance to act rightly. Calmness turns obstacles into allies, and preparation turns hardship into strength. Start each day with gratitude. Many people begin their mornings focused on what is missing, on what has gone wrong, or on what they hope to achieve. This habit sets the tone for the day, filling the mind with tension, desire, and restlessness. Gratitude, on the other hand, is a simple yet powerful practice that shifts the mind from lack to abundance. It reminds you of the good that already exists in your life, the things that cannot be taken away, and the small gifts that are often overlooked. When you wake up, take a moment to notice what is present. The air you breathe, the body that carries you through the day, the food you have to nourish yourself, the people who care for you, the opportunities to learn, to work, or to be kind. These are all reasons for gratitude. Begin your morning by acknowledging them, not in a fleeting thought, but with intention. Gratitude is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending life is perfect. It is about recognizing value in what you have while remaining aware of reality. When you cultivate this mindset, challenges lose some of their power over you. They do not vanish, but they no longer dominate your mind, because you start from a place of fullness rather than emptiness. Each morning, when you pause to give thanks, you set your mind on what is important. You train yourself to notice abundance rather than lack. This practice strengthens your resilience, because a mind accustomed to seeing what is good finds it easier to endure what is hard. Gratitude also fosters humility. When you recognize the things you have that are not entirely your doing, the love of others, the natural world, the circumstances that allowed you to grow, you understand that life is not only about personal achievement. You learn to value support, opportunity, and the simple fact of being alive. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into sources of joy. The sunrise, a warm meal, a quiet hour, a smile from someone else, these become meaningful, because you actively notice them. When you notice, you honor them, and when you honor them, your mind grows calmer, steadier, and more capable of facing the day. Practicing gratitude in the morning also sets the tone for your actions. When you recognize what you already have, you are less likely to act from greed, envy, or impatience. You respond to others with kindness instead of frustration, you work with purpose instead of anxiety, and you handle setbacks with patience rather than despair. Gratitude is a lens through which life is clearer. It allows you to see both the present and the possibilities ahead with calm awareness. Each day, take a few moments to identify at least 3 things for which you are grateful. They do not need to be extraordinary. They can be as simple as having clean water, a comfortable bed, or a quiet moment to think. By noticing these things deliberately, you train your mind to look for good, to acknowledge the small blessings, and to recognize that life, despite its challenges, offers much to value. Over time, this habit builds a sense of inner peace. You begin to see that happiness does not rely on having more or controlling everything, but on appreciating what already exists. Your mind becomes less restless, your emotions less turbulent, and your perspective on difficulties becomes calmer. Starting the day with gratitude is not a one-time act, it is a practice. It is a way of strengthening the mind, sharpening perception, and preparing yourself for life with clear eyes and a steady heart. By cultivating this habit, you build a foundation for patience, resilience, and contentment. Each morning, the simple act of noticing and appreciating what you have becomes a powerful tool to guide your thoughts, shape your choices, and steady your spirit. Focus on your purpose and duties. Every day presents countless distractions, and it is easy to drift through life without direction. We often spend our energy on things that matter little while neglecting what is truly important. Focusing on purpose means beginning each day by asking yourself what is right for you to do, what responsibilities you must meet, and what actions will bring meaning to your life. Your purpose is not something abstract or far away. It is found in the choices you make each day. It is expressed in your work, your relationships, your habits, and your character. When you start your morning with this focus, your mind gains clarity. You no longer chase every passing thought or desire, but you guide your energy toward what matters most. Duties are the concrete expressions of purpose. They are the things you must do because they are yours to do, because they reflect your role in life, and because they are within your control. Duties can be simple, like completing a task at work, helping a family member, or keeping a promise. They can also be deeper, like practicing honesty, patience, or courage. By attending to your duties each day, you live according to your purpose, and your life gains structure and meaning. Many people confuse purpose with passion or desire, believing that only grand or exciting goals matter. In reality, purpose is found in consistent, right action. It is in showing up, doing what is yours to do, and acting with integrity regardless of recognition or reward. Each morning, remind yourself of what you are meant to do today. Break your day into these responsibilities and approach them with care. Focus on one task at a time, rather than scattering your energy across endless distractions. The mind trained to pursue purpose is calm and disciplined. It does not flinch at difficulties or stray toward what is trivial. Instead, it moves steadily toward meaningful action. Focusing on purpose also reduces anxiety about outcomes. You cannot control everything that happens, but you can control whether you act rightly, whether you give your best effort, and whether you honor your commitments. By concentrating on duties and purpose, you let go of concern for what is outside your control, and your energy flows where it matters most. Purpose is also a source of resilience. When life becomes difficult, when people disappoint you, when events do not go your way, having a clear purpose anchors your mind. You are less likely to be swayed by frustration or despair, because your focus is on what you can do, not on what is lost or unfair. Each morning, take a moment to clarify your purpose for the day. Consider the tasks, the relationships, and the personal qualities you must honor. Plan how you will approach them with care, integrity, and patience. This is not about perfection, it is about consistent attention and right action. Life's distractions will come, and temptations will appear. Without a clear sense of purpose, it is easy to become lost in trivial concerns, in worry, or in unproductive activity. By starting with purpose, you train your mind to recognize what is important and to act accordingly. This practice also strengthens your character. The more you focus on duties and purpose, the more you cultivate discipline, clarity, and courage. You learn to act rightly even when it is difficult, to prioritize the long term over the short term, and to maintain steadiness in the face of challenges. Each morning, when you center your mind on what matters and on the responsibilities you must fulfill, you set the tone for the entire day. Your thoughts, actions, and choices align with your purpose, and you move through life with intention, not aimlessness. By practicing this regularly, you build a life guided by meaning, rather than by impulse or circumstance. Accept change and uncertainty. Life is always in motion, and nothing remains the same for long. People change, circumstances shift, plans fail, and the world does not wait for us to be ready. Those who resist this truth suffer constantly, struggling against events they cannot control, wishing things were different, and feeling disappointment whenever reality does not meet their expectations. Acceptance is not weakness or resignation, it is understanding the nature of life and responding with wisdom. Each morning, remind yourself that change is natural and uncertainty is inevitable. This practice prepares the mind for whatever comes, so that you are not surprised or unsettled when events turn out differently than planned. By accepting what is beyond your control, you free your mind from needless worry. You cannot control whether people act rightly, whether plans succeed, or whether circumstances are favorable. You can, however, control your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. When you focus on what is within your power and accept what is not, you act more effectively and remain calmer. Acceptance also strengthens resilience. Life's difficulties become easier to bear when you do not fight reality, when you see each setback, failure, or loss as part of the natural flow of things. By understanding that everything changes, you reduce attachment and disappointment. You begin to act from clarity rather than desire, making choices based on reason instead of fear or longing. Every morning, take a moment to reflect on the impermanence of things. People you care for may not always be present, your plans may not always succeed, and the conditions of life may shift unexpectedly. By keeping this in mind, you train yourself to face the day with a steady heart. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It does not mean giving up on improvement, effort, or responsibility. It means acting rightly within the circumstances you face, without clinging to illusions of permanence or certainty. When you accept life as it is, you can work with it rather than against it. You can respond wisely rather than react emotionally. You can make the best choices possible, even when the outcome is unknown. Accepting change also encourages gratitude and presence. When you realize that nothing lasts forever, you see the value in each moment, each opportunity, and each relationship. You notice what is meaningful, because you understand it is temporary. You act with care, appreciation, and attention, rather than taking life for granted. Life is full of surprises, both good and bad. Some may bring joy, others hardship. By practicing acceptance, you meet each experience with balance. You do not become elated when things go well, nor despair when they go poorly. You maintain clarity, patience, and composure. Each morning, this mindset can be strengthened through reflection. Consider what may change today, what may not go as expected, and what is beyond your influence. This is not pessimism, it is preparation. When the unexpected occurs, your mind is ready, and your actions are guided by reason rather than reaction. Acceptance also teaches humility. You recognize that you are part of a larger flow, that the world is not entirely under your command, and that life unfolds according to its own patterns. By releasing the desire to control everything, you reduce frustration, fear, and conflict. Over time, this practice builds a steady strength. Your mind becomes flexible rather than rigid, calm rather than restless, and wise rather than reactive. You can face uncertainty with courage, knowing that the measure of life is not in avoiding change, but in responding rightly to it. Each morning, when you remind yourself to accept change and uncertainty, you prepare your mind to navigate the day with clarity, resilience, and peace. Keep your thoughts clear and disciplined. The mind is like a garden. If it is left unattended, weeds of worry, anger, and confusion will grow, choking the seeds of reason, focus, and calm. Each morning presents an opportunity to shape your mind deliberately, to examine the thoughts you carry, and to guide them toward clarity. A disciplined mind does not allow itself to be carried away by every passing impulse or emotion. It recognizes that thoughts are not facts, that feelings are not commands, and that not every reaction requires action. By observing your mind carefully, you begin to notice patterns. Some thoughts arise out of fear, some out of desire, and some out of habit. These thoughts often push us toward distraction, stress, or rash decisions. When you train your mind to recognize them, you gain the ability to respond wisely rather than automatically. Each morning, before engaging with the day, take a moment to notice the state of your mind. Are your thoughts scattered? Are they clouded with worry or anger? By acknowledging them, you can begin the work of discipline, choosing which thoughts to nourish and which to release. A clear mind is deliberate. It considers what is important, what is under your control, and what will lead to meaningful action. It does not chase fleeting pleasures, dwell on imagined slights, or obsess over the uncontrollable. Instead, it focuses on understanding, reason, and the tasks before you. Discipline in thought also strengthens your judgment. Decisions made in confusion or emotion often lead to regret, while decisions made from a calm and clear mind lead to effectiveness and integrity. By practicing this each morning, you condition yourself to approach challenges with a steady perspective. Your mind becomes a tool rather than a burden, guiding your actions rather than being carried by them. Clear thinking also allows for emotional balance. Many disturbances in life arise not from events themselves, but from the way we interpret them. When your mind is disciplined, you see situations more objectively. You notice when anger, fear, or desire is influencing your view, and you can adjust your response accordingly. This prevents small frustrations from escalating into unnecessary conflict or suffering. Cultivating clarity is not a one-time act. It is a habit, a daily practice, and a constant refinement. Each morning you can ask yourself, what thoughts will I carry today? Which will I feed, and which will I let go? This reflection sets the tone for the day. A disciplined mind also recognizes the value of focus. Scattered attention leads to wasted energy, mistakes, and restlessness. A clear mind directs energy intentionally, concentrating on what truly matters and avoiding distraction from what is trivial or fleeting. By doing this, you act with purpose and precision, achieving more with less wasted effort. Keeping your thoughts clear requires honesty and self-awareness. You must be willing to notice when the mind wanders, when bias or habit distorts perception, and when emotion clouds judgment. This awareness is itself a form of discipline, for it allows you to step back and choose your response, rather than being swept along by instinct or impulse. Over time, this practice strengthens wisdom. A mind trained in clarity and discipline becomes resilient to confusion, less susceptible to rumor, fear, and false hope. It can weigh situations fairly, understand consequences, and act in alignment with reason and virtue. Each morning, when you focus on mental clarity and discipline, you cultivate a mind that is steady, discerning, and powerful, capable of guiding your actions, shaping your character, and responding effectively to the challenges of life. Respond, don't react. Life constantly presents situations that can trigger emotion, judgment, or impulse. When something unexpected happens, a criticism, a delay, a mistake, or a failure, many people react immediately, letting anger, fear, or frustration drive their behavior. Reaction is automatic, often unconsidered, and rarely helpful. Responding, on the other hand, is deliberate. It is a conscious choice to observe, think, and act in alignment with reason and purpose. Each morning, you can prepare yourself to respond rather than react. This begins with awareness. Understand that your first impulse is often influenced by emotion, habit, or desire. Pause even for a moment to observe that impulse. Recognize it for what it is, a natural reaction of the mind, not a command that must be followed. By creating this small space between impulse and action, you gain control over your behavior. Responding requires calmness. When the mind is unsettled, emotions can cloud judgment, leading to decisions that later bring regret or conflict. By cultivating calm each morning, through reflection, intention, or quiet thought, you prepare your mind to handle the challenges of the day with steadiness. A thoughtful response considers context, consequences, and what is within your control. It is measured, purposeful, and aligned with your values. Reaction, in contrast, is often self-centered, immediate, and short-sighted. It focuses on the stimulus itself, rather than the best way to act. Many conflicts, stress, and mistakes in life arise because people act on reaction instead of response. Responding does not mean suppressing feelings or ignoring reality. Emotions are natural, and acknowledging them is necessary. It means choosing how to act despite them. For example, anger may arise when someone insults you, but responding means assessing the situation calmly and deciding the most effective or virtuous course of action, rather than shouting or retaliating immediately. By practicing this approach consistently, you strengthen self-control. You train your mind to notice triggers, consider options, and act with intention. Over time, this discipline becomes habitual, and your behavior becomes more consistent, reliable, and constructive. Responding also improves relationships. When you act thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, you communicate clearly, avoid unnecessary conflict, and show respect for others and yourself. People learn to trust your words and actions because they are measured and wise, not erratic or driven by fleeting emotion. This habit also builds resilience. Life will continue to present challenges, disappointments, and provocation. By responding instead of reacting, you maintain your balance, focus on solutions, and preserve your peace of mind. It is a skill that allows you to navigate difficulties without being overwhelmed. Each morning, take a few moments to remind yourself of this principle. Consider the situations that may test you, the people who may challenge you, and the events that may provoke strong feelings. Visualize yourself observing your impulses and choosing your actions deliberately. This mental rehearsal strengthens your capacity to respond calmly and wisely when the actual situations occur. Responding is not always easy. It requires patience, reflection, and discipline. The first impulse will always be present, and emotions may demand immediate attention, but the power lies in choosing how to act. By cultivating this ability, you create a mind that is steady, a character that is resilient, and a life that is guided by reason rather than impulse. Each morning, by committing to respond rather than react, you prepare yourself to face the day with clarity, self-control, and integrity, turning challenges into opportunities to act rightly and strengthen your mind. Live today as your best day. Too often people postpone life, thinking that happiness, purpose, or peace belongs to the future. They wait for the right moment, the right opportunity, or the right circumstances. Yet each day is all we truly have. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. The present moment is where life happens, and it is the only place where your actions, thoughts, and choices can make a difference. Each morning, remind yourself that today is a gift and that it can be lived fully, with awareness, purpose, and attention. Living today as your best day begins with presence. Pay attention to the moment before you. Notice the simple details: the air, the light, the sounds, the people around you, and the tasks you are about to undertake. By grounding yourself in the present, you prevent your mind from drifting into regret about the past or worry about the future. Presence allows you to act deliberately rather than react unconsciously. It gives clarity, calmness, and a sense of connection to life as it is. Living fully today also means acting with intention. Consider what matters most and dedicate your energy to those things. Small tasks repeated with care create the foundation of a meaningful life. Relationships nurtured today, efforts made sincerely, and virtues practiced consistently all contribute to a day well lived. Each morning, plan how you will give your attention, energy, and effort to what is worthwhile, rather than scattering yourself on what is trivial or fleeting. A day lived fully is also a day of acceptance. You will encounter challenges, distractions, and setbacks, but these do not diminish the value of the day. They are part of life, and responding to them with patience and reason adds depth to your experience rather than taking it away. By accepting circumstances and working within them, you maintain peace of mind while acting effectively. Living today as your best day requires gratitude. Appreciate the opportunities, people, and resources available to you. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present. It encourages generosity, patience, and calmness, making your actions more thoughtful and your interactions more kind. Each morning, reflect on what you can appreciate and carry that awareness into the day. This approach also nurtures resilience. Even when events do not go as planned, a mind committed to living fully today remains centered. You do not waste time regretting or resisting reality. Instead, you act where you can, with what you have, and with the best of your ability. By doing so, every day becomes a lesson in discipline, courage, and wisdom. Living as if today is your best day does not require extraordinary circumstances. It does not depend on wealth, recognition, or comfort. It is the practice of using what is present wisely, acting with purpose, and cultivating inner calm and clarity. By making this a habit each morning, you condition your mind to recognize the value of each day and to invest fully in what is truly meaningful. Each morning, before your thoughts drift to concerns, tasks, or desires, remind yourself that today is a chance to act rightly, to grow, to practice virtue, and to appreciate life. This mindset transforms ordinary routines into opportunities for growth and clarity. Each day becomes a building block for character, wisdom, and inner strength. By embracing today fully, you cultivate a mind that is focused, a heart that is resilient, and a life that is rich in purpose and meaning. Through this practice, you learn to navigate uncertainty, face challenges, and engage with life deliberately, turning every moment into an opportunity to live wisely, act rightly, and grow steadily.